In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. If you want to engage live in the content, you got to go follow me over on Instagram Live. I'm at Living Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage live, just like all these peoples are doing right now. Thank you guys for being here today on Jimmy Rants. If you missed the live, you can watch it on replay on Instagram for up to 24 hours. After 24 hours, it does disappear from Instagram, so we'll pop it on over to YouTube for you. Type in a keyword search Jimmy Rants, you'll find the show, or youtube.com/Living Low Carb Man. I'm trying to build the subscribers there on YouTube, so go follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/Living Low Carb Man. Finally, the best of the best moments of this here show, we do a podcast with it. It's called the Jimmy Rants Podcast over on Apple Podcast and Stitcher. All of these links, you guys, are at JimmyRants.com. Today's Jimmy Rants is a continuation of what I've been talking about for more than a week now. Sunday week ago, I issued this 7-day water fasting challenge, and I put it out there on social media. Who wants to join me on an all-out water and salt fast? And 2,000 people decided to join me on this. For most of us, we started after our last meal on the 4th of July, and a lot of people were really gung-ho to get started on this, and I was really happy to see the enthusiasm. Now, those of you that are still around doing this fast, we are officially now on day number 4 of this fast. Last 3 days, guys, we're in the home stretch, and this should be the best part of the fast, which I've been talking about quite a bit here on Jimmy Rants. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later when I do my update this afternoon. But in this morning update, I feel like there's so much discouragement of the people that had to fall out. So what I want to talk about here today is, did you stop your fasting sooner than you wanted to? Can I just encourage you today that you better be proud of yourself, of what you did? I hope those of you that fell out and you're still watching these Jimmy Rants videos to find encouragement for the next time, I want you to know the fact that you even took this on is monumental. Because most people, when you mention the other F word, which is what I used to call fasting, when you mention that to just average everyday people, what do they think? They think you're starving yourself. They think it's unhealthy. They think you're doing great damage to your metabolism. They think you have an eating disorder. They have all these negative connotations as it relates to fasting. And if you attempted to do this 7-day fast and you got even a modicum of the way through it, 24 hours, you're already doing far more good things for your body than all those people that are complaining to you about all those quote unquote negative things that are supposedly happening. So I don't want anybody that went on this challenge to ever feel like you gave up, to ever feel like you failed, to ever think that you were anything but a remarkable success for what you did. Because you're a hero in my book. If you dared to go against the grain of what conventional wisdom says, of you need to eat every few hours to be healthy and keep your blood sugar stable and blah, 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 all this nonsense that's put out there, and you said, screw that, I'm going to fast, and you did it, you should celebrate what you did. whether you went 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, or if you're still on this fast with me here in day number 4, I don't want you to be discouraged one iota. And I had somebody on Twitter call me out about this yesterday. Well, you're making it unreasonable for people, expecting them to go 7 days. I said, I don't expect people to go 7 days. I put out the challenge to go 7 days. Because here's what happens. When you have a 7-day challenge and you make it 4 days, and the longest you've ever fasted before was 24 hours, was that a success? You bet it was. But if I had said it's a 4-day challenge and you didn't make it the 4 days, see how the 7 days pushed you to go further than you've ever gone before. And I've had a lot of people write to me messages of, oh my gosh, thank you for doing this, because never in my life did I think about going on a fast at all. And you made it sound fun. You made it sound easy. You gave us the tools. You gave us encouragement and inspiration. And I'm continuing, hopefully, to do that for you guys. That made me want to do it. And then I did it and went, oh my gosh, that was an incredible experience. I want to do that again. Guys, that's what I'm trying to do with this water fasting challenge. I'm trying to give you the bug of this is something else in your toolbox that you can come back to again and again and again, as often as you'd like. And so definitely, if you are curious about fasting, you really don't know a whole lot more than what I've shared on these videos, please go get a copy of the complete guide to fasting. I wrote this with the preeminent fasting guru in the entire world, his name, Dr. Jason Fung. And in that book, it is such knowledge and encouragement and practicality of how you would do fasting, not just intermittent fasting. I think sometimes people hear fasting out there, oh, intermittent fasting. No. We're talking about all aspects of fasting. Intermittent is great, and I do it pretty much on a regular basis. Alternate day is another form of fasting that we talk about in the book, and of course, extended fasting, like what we're doing here this week. So if you're just joining us, yes, we are still talking about fasting. Who knew there was so much to talk about with not eating? But there is. And so what I'm talking about today is all those people that had to end this fast early. I do not want you to be discouraged. And I'm feeling that from people. They're just like, man, I really wanted to make it the 7 days, and I tried hard. I couldn't take it. You know what? There's no shame in any of that. And I really want to come back to this whole analogy of building up a fasting muscle. I'm about to really get hot and heavy starting on my sabbatical on September the 1st. I'm really going to get serious about heavy lifting. Do you think on day 1 of doing that and working with someone who's going to help me with that, do you think on day 1 I am going to be able to lift as much as I will on day 100 or day 200? No, because that's right, I don't have the muscle yet. And so you got to think of fasting in the same way. You need to build it up. And if the longest you went before was 24 hours and you made it 48, kudos. You just doubled your fasting muscle. Your strength of fasting increased by a factor of 200%. You just did it. Good job. Or I guess 100% if it was triple. Anyway, I'm horrible with math. I'm good with words, horrible with math. You see where I'm going here, though. And if you made it 48 hours this time, maybe the next time you go 72. Maybe push it into day 4. I think those of you that dropped out early, you had good reasons for doing it. You're listening to your body. You should never bemoan the fact that you listened to your own body. You paid attention to signals that said, whoa, we need to stop this time. But you got to that next level, so that the next time you fast, then that muscle's a little bit stronger and you're able to go maybe a little bit longer. Here's the fun part. For those of you still sticking around, and we're in day 4 now, day 4 is the nirvana of this entire experience. It's what I keep trying to tell people. And now I realize a lot of people had their reasons. A couple of people actually wrote to me and said they had to go to the ER because they were concerned about things. By the way, both of those people that went to the ER, everything was fine. Nothing was wrong. They kind of freaked themselves out in their head. And that's a good experience too, to go through this, to know, okay, what's real and what's not. And sometimes when you're going through something like this, some of the imaginary stuff seems so very real that you freak yourself out, and physiologically you have a response. So if you get to that point in this fast and it just becomes too much, please end it. But next time, you'll have that experience to build on. You'll have that muscle built up, so the next time you can get a little further. And those of you that got to day 4 today, you're seeing the great effects that come from doing this extended fasting. Because guys, I woke up this morning the most energetic, the most hunger controlled, the most mood stabilized that I've been in this entire fast. And I hope that for those of you that are still around, you're experiencing that too. And you may have some momentary things happen where you have like a little fleeting feeling of hunger. You may have some of that detoxification that we've been talking about starting to take place, where the fat stores are being released. Deep inside the fat stores are some toxins that might have been being protected by your body, which is why they were in the fat stores. If they're released, you might feel some momentary periods of pain. I had, for the first time in this fast, I had pretty bad diarrhea when I first woke up this morning. And I think it was just some of the old bad bacteria getting out of my system. And once that was over, it was past. I feel fine now and everything's good. I rehydrated. Dilly dilly, everybody. And while we're here, we might as well salt up too. So get your salt. Everybody got your salt. Get your salt, guys. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And down the hatch it goes. I got more in my beard today than I did in my mouth. Yes. Dilly dilly again. Which, by the way, these fasting drops have been a godsend. Next time you do an extended fast, try to get some of these Keto Chow fasting drops. They also have electrolyte drops, and a lot of people have been asking me about these. I have not put this in here, so I do about 10 to 12 drops. Stir it up. They also have electrolyte drops, but these fasting drops are specifically for people doing fasting. So they have more concentrated levels of sodium and magnesium, which will help you during this fast. But have these things ready, guys. And when you're ready to do it, then you'll be ready. You'll be ready to take on the world. We're going to do this again, by the way, in late August. I have a speaking gig in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, August 17th, which is a Saturday. I'll be home by August 19th is when I'm planning on starting this next extended fast water fasting challenge. So if you want to join the next time and you missed this one or you fell out a little bit early, I want you to come back and try again. You did not fail because you fell out early. Can I make it any clearer than that? I think people have this notion of it's an all or nothing experience when it comes to fasting. Well, the goal was 7 days and I only made it 2. What's wrong with me? I'm a failure. Blah, blah, blah. Don't do that to yourself. I need you to be proud. I need you to stand tall, chin up, and be happy with what you accomplished, because what you did was monumental. I do not want to de-emphasize what you did. The fact you didn't make 7 days is irrelevant. The fact you made 48 hours, 72 hours, whatever you made, you got to be proud of that. You got to own that. You got to be pretty darn, what is the word? I mean, it's just such an accomplishment that most people won't even dare try. And I don't want anybody to be discouraged. That's not my jam. My jam is encouragement. My jam is telling you that you're doing good things for your body when you do this. And it's going to be the cumulative effects of these fasts again and again and again and again and again and over time that's going to give you the benefits that you're looking for. So don't let a singular fast determine how you're doing in your health journey. Just like one singular meal doesn't determine how you're doing in your keto journey. Sometimes people will do the same thing. They'll have something that's a bit off plan from their keto, and they think every bit of the work that they've done on keto is completely unraveled because of that one meal. And I go, guys, look, it was one meal. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get right back on plan again. And that's the way I want you to see it with fasting. Yeah, you're going to have some bumps along the way where it's not necessarily going to work out that you can do your goal of fasting for 7 days. It's okay. Do what you did this time, eat for a little while, and then come back and try again. That's how you do it. You guys feeling the encouragement today? Because I'm hearing a whole lot of discouragement, and it breaks my heart because I don't want anybody to ever think that you failed when you even attempted to do fasting. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you guys for being here on this Jimmy Rants today. Good morning, good morning. Karen says, I'm currently on hour 102. That is awesome, Karen. I just posted. It's the final countdown. Sorry, I always wanted to do that. I didn't know it actually played the music on the Jimmy Rants. That's cool. So yeah, I am on that hour, 90 something right now. And yeah, it's pretty darn cool when you get to this point in the fast, to know that you're doing something really awesome. So it's pretty cool. Ketoholic says, I'm still here. Great. I'll be talking to all you day 4 people a little bit later. But I felt the need to address all of these discouraged people that fell out early. Fasting is king and very healthy. Yes, it is, Frisk. That's why we're talking about it. Lucille says, decided to do bone broth and coffee instead of salt and water until my finals are over on Tuesday. Well, and that's fine. See, I put out the challenge to do water and salt. But that doesn't mean you couldn't include black coffee. That doesn't mean you couldn't include bone broth. That doesn't mean you couldn't include other things. But based on my past experience, some of those other things make this a little more challenging. So this challenge was specifically water and salt by design to let you guys learn from the mistakes from my past fasting experiences. I found all those so-called aids to make this fast easier actually made it a whole lot harder, which I talked about in previous Jimmy Rants, which is why the water and salt. And sometimes it's just the freedom of letting your body just have water, salt, and electrolytes, where you notice things about your body. Whereas if you introduce, some people are doing it with diet soda, some people are having coffee, some people are having bone broth. When you do it with those things, those are called confounding variables. Talking in study research terms, confounding variables are things that can impact what you think is happening with fasting, and it's actually those things that are causing that. Another confounding variable that a lot of people have been introducing into this fast is stress. And they're not recognizing that they have stress and that that's causing some of the symptoms. Another confounding variable is people were drinking coffee or diet soda that was caffeinated before they started this. And now that they're not having those things, they're having the headaches associated with the caffeine withdrawal. And they're, oh my gosh, this fasting is causing this headache. No, it's not. No, it's not. The only way fasting would be causing a headache is if you're not dilly-dillying enough. Proper hydration, proper electrolytes. But then if you were drinking coffee and diet soda before you started this, don't blame the fasting on that. So if that's why you fell out, maybe the next time you titrate down on your consumption of coffee and or diet soda like a week before you start fasting, so that then by the time you start fasting, it's out of your system. You won't have those caffeine withdrawal headaches. So that is a little bit of a concern, people blaming the fasting for things that are not related to the fasting. Lockhart says, blood pressure is normal, no pill today. Longest fast I've ever done. Great numbers. Thank you, Jimmy. That is awesome, Lockhart. That's been the gratifying part of this. Even those that dropped out early, almost invariably, every single one of them said, I didn't make it the 7 days, but this is the longest fast I've ever done. to me, as an author of a book about fasting, I can think of no better thing that you could say than I challenged you to fast and you went longer than you've ever gone before. That's cool. That's really, really cool. Michelle says, drink water, don't eat. Easy, right? Well, it sounds easy on paper. In fact, when I autograph The Complete Guide to Fasting, it's my favorite book to autograph because I sign my name, but then I write, just don't eat. ... from time to time. Sharon says, I made it 41 hours on the Redmond's Real Salt Challenge, 86 hours in on this, still going. This support is such a help. Thank you tons. Are you doing another with us before your sabbatical? Yes, I mentioned earlier, August 19th, I believe, is that Monday. I have a speaking gig on the 17th in Toronto. I am emceeing the Great Canadian Keto event there, and I'm doing a talk. Christine's also speaking, our last public speaking event before the sabbatical. And so, 2 days later, we will be fasting for a week again. And I want to invite you guys in. It'll literally be about a week and a half-ish before we go away. That'll be fun. Martha says, I finished 71 hours, had to stop for a family need, but Jimmy gave me the best of the best fasting. I never used salt until now. It's a game changer, as all of you know. So pumped. Yeah, guys, I don't think people give enough credence to using salt. And can I just tell you, not just during fasting, if you're not adequately using good quality salt like this Redmond's Real Salt, if you're not using quality salt in your ketogenic lifestyle, get with the program, because this is game changing. It's life changing for you guys. And I think because we've been so scared half to death, not just of saturated fat, but I think we've equally been scared half to death of eating salt, people shy away from it. And I want you buck the trend of saturated fat. You're doing keto, but I want you to buck the trend of salt, because I think that negativity about salt was totally unjustified. And it's actually why a lot of people still deal with so many health issues. They're not salting enough, or they're using the wrong kinds of salt. That Morton's salt with the little girl with the umbrella, little blue package, avoid that stuff. That's fake, man-made chemical salt. This is real salt from an ancient mine. So you want to get this. Pink Himalayan sea salt works. Really whatever your favorite natural salt is. But at the end of the day, you need this not just during fasting, but also when you're eating keto. Keto Doc says, how is visceral versus subcutaneous fat broken down during fasting? For me, it seems that visceral is being broken down based on the scale. The fast is going much better than I ever thought it would. Thanks, Jimmy. And guys, this is a doctor. This is a medical doctor, and he's one of my regulars here on Jimmy Rants. Thank you for chiming in. I think it hits all of it, to be honest. Obviously, one of the things that I've done when I've done some DEXA scans during past extended fasting, Keto Doc, is I wanted to see where was the fat going away from. You want to know where it's going away from is the fat that's around the organs, which is what you don't want to have. And so for me, that to me is the biggest reason that I love doing some extended fasting. Is the most dangerous fat in your body is the ones that accumulate around the vital organs in the body. And so if you can get that mobilized and moving out of your body, that is nothing but a good thing for your health. Nancy says, I'm going to have to tap out this morning due to medical reasons, but I made it 90 hours and I know now I can do it and will do it again. I'm so thankful for your support. Nancy, 90 hours is hardcore, and you better hold your head up and be very proud of what you accomplished. And I hope whatever the medical issue is that you're dealing with, that you're okay, and everything works out. But fasting, you're a rock star. You've now done something, Nancy, that probably 99.999% of the population in the world has never, ever done. You made it deep into a fast. I mean, really, really deep. Day 4, that's awesome. Be proud. Caden says, day 4, my knees still hurt like I ate a pie. I'm hoping the joint pain decreases soon. Caden, you might be one of those people experiencing the release of toxins from your stored body fat. And I know it hurts. And if at some point it becomes too much, please end the fast and go back to eating. But just know that that might be a sign that some of this detoxification that you're wanting to happen is happening. Mr. Savory, good morning. Day 4, awesomeness still in it to win it. Feeling good. Excellent. Alberto says, maybe if you call it fastitarianism, then people would embrace it. Those final words are psychologically powerful. Tarianism, yes. What'd you call it? Fastitarianism. I like that, Alberto. Maybe I'll write a book like that someday. The fastitarianism diet. Ooh. Yeah, the fastitarianism diet is don't diet, don't eat. Caption KC, yesterday during the weight loss rant, I think you said if you drop a lot of weight during a fast, it means you're insulin resistant. Did I hear that right? Have lost 6.8 pounds in 3.5 days. So yes, if you lose more than a half a pound a day in the midst of doing an extended fast, so for 7 days, if at the end of 7 days you lost more than 3.5 pounds, it shows that you have insulin resistance. And it's not a bad thing. It means this fasting is going to help you heal some of that and definitely the cumulative effects over time. But yes, you did hear me right. Naughty Bit says, I've been a success since day 2. This has done wonders for my confidence. Thanks for the support. And I think that's the cool thing too. People that don't know about fasting, they don't know what they don't know. They don't know the power that they have within themselves to see some pretty dramatic changes happen pretty fast, and not just physiologically. I'm talking about in your head. Think about how all those negative connotations that you had about fasting before you started doing it, how many of them were true? How many of them, those of you that are still in this, how many of those things that you thought were going to happen hadn't happened? The progressively worse and worse hunger, the lack of energy, the not being able to live in your day-to-day, the blah, 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 whatever you come up with, all of those things that you thought would happen. What's been the reality? The reality is far different than what you thought. And so with that comes confidence, comes empowerment. And I hope you guys are getting that. Karen says, I'm 1 day behind you guys, but so encouraged by these live talks. I feel wonderful. Well, keep it up, Karen. Get to tomorrow for you because it's today for us, and it's pretty darn cool. I'm most certainly energetic. I'm most certainly enthused, calm mood. Brain is firing on all cylinders. Kagon says, on second day, began terrible heartburn and still continues. Anyone else had this experience? Still moving forward. That can happen for some people. Yeah, just do the best you can. Try to water up if you can. But that's not uncommon. I have heard people talk about heartburn. Lisa says, thanks for all the encouragement. You're welcome. Melody says, I'm on hour 85. Woke up, had a blood sugar of 70, blood ketones of 4. Best ever in any fast, and I've done 10 days before. Yeah, I have not tested blood sugar or blood ketones, partly because we are away at our mountain place in North Carolina. We're driving home today, so I might take a sneak peek in this afternoon on my blood ketones and blood sugar just to see where I'm at. But I know from the way I feel that I've got really good blood ketones. I can tell the way my brain is kind of just feels like it's on fire. I know my ketones are over 3.0. Very, very easily know that. Which by extension of that, I know my blood sugar is lower. And so it's good things. Good things are happening. Carnivore heals. I'm currently on day 4. Still have phantom stomach rumbling. Oh, you still have stomach rumblings. That's not phantom. You're really having rumblings. But think about every time it gurgles or makes a rumble like that, it's not that your body is hungry for food. It could be that it's digesting some more of the stored body fat. So don't forget, digestion is not stopping because you are not eating. You're still eating the stored body fat. That's the purpose. One of the purposes of this fasting is to let your body tap into some of those fat stores. And so if you hear gurgles and you hear rumblings, it's not that your body's telling you to eat food. It's like, okay, yum, 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 yum. Just had some more body fat. And you got to think of it that way. Legs are wobbly, pushing through to the end. Hashtag Jimmy Moore for president. No, I do not. No, I do not want to be president. Melody says, my energy is super, my mind is sharp, and my mood is great. See, people don't believe you. They think you're going to be all grumpy and you're going to be all hungry and you're going to be hangry, and it just doesn't happen. Especially when you do this over time and you've built up that fasting muscle and you get to that point where mentally you're sharp, mentally you're strong. You feel like you could take on the world. And we're at that point in the fast where you think you never have to eat again because you feel so good. And it's the weirdest feeling 4 days into not eating any food at all. But it's true. Lucille says, I do feel the bone broth and coffee are a crutch, but it keeps from eating and still focused on studying. We'll do the water and salt fast with you in August. And I'm not bemoaning anybody, Lucille, that does those things. I just know from my own personal experience of using bone broth and for me, kombucha and some other things, I made it far worse than it needed to be. So I'm trying to get you guys to skip past all the stuff that I messed up with to get right to the good part, which is the water and the salt. Beth says, so much of what we tell ourselves is made up. Caffeine withdrawal is definitely real, but even for the heaviest consumer, it only takes a few ounces to ward off that headache. Yep. Caden says, I've already went longer than I have before, and that's something you should celebrate today. Celebrate it. Be proud of yourself. Do not let anybody take away the joy that has come from you doing something that you thought you could never do, and that is going a period of time without fasting. Berkeley says, have you noticed any changes in your tongue? Slight coating, which scraping doesn't completely remove. Yeah, I have done this so long, Berkeley, I don't notice that anymore, but now that you're making me notice it, yeah, I have a little thicker thickness on the tongue. That's also a sign of elevated ketones. Lockhart says, still here. Yay. Lisa says, I'm in for the August fast, so excited to prepare. Awesome. Sharon says, going to Disney World 3 days after this is over. No way I'm undoing all the good with crazy Disney treats, so the timing was awesome. You're welcome, Sharon. Say hi to Goofy for me. He's my blood brother. Don't trim my steak. 95 hours in, I have found that walking outside makes hunger go away. It is amazing what just getting into nature, breathing fresh air, and just that little bit of kind of taking a walk. Like I have to mow my grass a little bit later today. And I know during that time, it's going to be relaxing. It's going to be de-stressing. I'm going to get to think a little more. It's why I like doing push mowing. Even though I have a big yard, I like to push mow because it gives me a lot of time to rest, relax, think, reflect, all of those things. Naughty Bits, this is funny. Yesterday I was tempted badly. I went for retail distraction. I bought 2 different specialty salts and they are delicious. Just one more positive from this experience. That's great. I love it. Anita says, blurred vision day 3, joint pain day 4, all is good. My body is detoxing. Yeah, you've got to put it in that context. And obviously, if it gets to be where it's a medical condition or you feel like, whoa, what's going on, please end the fast and go see medical attention. But it's not necessarily fasting that's doing that. It could just be the release of these stored toxins that are in your body fat stores. And I think not enough people realize when you've had years upon years upon years of adding up body fat getting stored on your body ain't going to easily release that because it knows what's inside there. And when you do release it and you have those things hit you and suddenly you feel bad or suddenly you have symptoms like what you're describing, it sucks in the moment, but it's a good thing because you want those things out of your body, not trapped deep within that fat that will never let go. And that's what frustrates a lot of people. Well, I want to lose weight. No, you don't need to lose weight. You need to get healthy. And the way you get healthy is to get all of those things out of you. It's one of the reasons I'm going to detoxify while I'm away on sabbatical, not just by fasting, but doing a lot of biohacks. I'm going to do a lot of infrared sauna therapy. I'm going to do a lot of red light therapy with the Juve light. I'm going to do some ice baths. I'm going to do some HIIT training. I'm going to lift heavy things. I'm going to do all these things that I need to incorporate on a regular basis to help heal this body. And fasting is a part of that too. And it's going to be moments where it's going to be tough and it's going to be rough. And there's going to be things that will end up in my body released because the stored body fat is coming out. Like this morning with the diarrhea. I mean, that was disgusting. It was gross. It was hard. It was nasty. But it's out of me. Whatever that was, it's out of me now. And now I feel good. Don't trim my steak. I also had heartburn. It's gone now on day 4. Awesome. D. Guggen says, can't wait for day 4 tomorrow for me. Thanks. This has been so much easier doing it as a group. Awesome. Caden says, I'm shocked even though I was warned that I had a bowel movement. Yeah. Like I said, day 4. And I had stuff come out. Now, it's not solid at this point in the fast. It wouldn't be. But stuff is still there. And I've done 21-day fast before, Caden. And yes, stuff still comes out. Day 14, day 17, day 20. So it's shocking when you think about it. Lisa says, how long do you wait between doing another fast after a long fast? So if you go 7 full days, it's generally recommended that you wait at least maybe 4 to 6 weeks before you do another one. If you made it 3 days, you could probably fast again in a couple weeks. So hopefully that gives you a gauge. Monte says, blood glucose 70, ketones 2.5. Feeling better, but still waiting for all the good at the end of the tunnel. It's my day 4. Hang in there. Keep doing all these things. Dilly dilly. Salt up, electrolyte up, all this stuff. Arlene, you're a genuine powerhouse of warm, positive energy. That is not as easy as you make it look. Bless you. #grateful. Thank you for that. That is the part I'm going to miss the most when I'm on sabbatical. Is I do love teaching. I do love encouraging. That is my heart. And if that doesn't bleed over in everything that I do, then I'm doing something wrong or I'm not being me. So if you ever notice that I'm not genuine in anything I do, please call me out because I want to always be that to anybody. Keto plus fasting, I do feel like I could go on forever because I feel so incredible today. Maybe I could do 21 days. Well, I've done 3 21-day fasts, and what I have learned keto plus fasting is you get most of the great benefits that come from fasting within the 5 to 7 day window. You go over 7, you could go over 7, but I think you get the law of diminishing returns at that point. Not that you don't get benefits after 7 days, but I just wonder how much of it could you get better results if you go 5 to 7 days more often than if you push it to 21 days and then you have to wait a while before you can push it again. So I think cumulatively doing a lot of different 5 to 7 day fasts is far better than doing less frequent 21-day fasts. But that's just my opinion. If you want to push your body and see how you do, I think that would be a great experience for you. Keto fasting says, what a blessing you are. All this is so good. Learning so much here. We'll keep learning. I'm here till September 1, guys. So I'm not going to stop talking until I shut myself up. September the 1st. Alberto says, I remember many years ago, those people protesting by not eating for days. I was like, poor people, they must be suffering. But next time I'm going to join them. Well, you're already a rebel, Alberto. Lockhart says, used magnesium gel to help with muscle aches. Awesome. That is one of the electrolytes. Berkeley says, no BM bowel movement since second day. Is that odd? Not necessarily. Like I said, the one that I had this morning, drink plenty of water, have plenty of salt, plenty of electrolytes. But the one that I had this morning that was the diarrhea, that was kind of the first big one that I've had on this fast. Obviously, right after starting the fast into day 2, I had a solid bowel movement. But since then, it's been a little bit less. Maybe I'll do a bowel podcast, Jimmy Rants fasting update later, because it is really interesting when you get this at this point in the fast. People think, oh, you stop pooping. No, you don't. Anyway, reach out to me, Berkeley, if you don't have another bowel movement, because that is interesting. If you're not going at all, that's fascinating to me. Of course, it will be determined by what needs to be cleaned up in your body. How much food did you have before you started the fast? A lot of kind of moving parts to that question. Monte says, LOL, I've only had one bowel movement since starting this fasting challenge. Stick around, you might have more. Shirley says, I've had my first experience in the bathroom that you were talking about yesterday. Yes. And again, I don't want to be gross, but you will pee through your butt. Just going to leave it at that. Carnivore Heals, please start the next fast on a Friday as well. Makes working much easier when day 4 is a Monday. Well, unfortunately, that's not practical. I am speaking at an event in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, August the 17th. And I have to start it on that Monday, the 19th, because we're gone on the 31st. So sorry, I'm not going to be convenient for your desires for me to start when you want me to start. But that's when we're going to do the next one corporately together. And it will be my last experience doing content with you guys until I get back in March. So guys, the bottom line in this Jimmy Rants, I hope those of you that were on this fasting challenge with me and you had to drop out, that you're not discouraged. You should be very proud of what you did. And I think the more you do this, the better you're going to get. And this is going to become pretty easy. Now, you guys saw day two into day 3 for me was not super duper simple easy. I had some moments there that even Christine was like, I think you better eat. But I was like, no, I know what this is. Gain from the experience that you did with this fast. Apply it. Put it in the memory of what this was like. And then come back to that memory the next time you try this. It's going to serve you well the next time you fast. That's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, you can engage live in the content, but you got to go follow me over on Instagram Live. I'm at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVIN LOWCARBMAN, and you can engage live just like all these great people did here today. Thank you guys for being here. If you missed the live, you can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours. After 24 hours, it does disappear. Pop on over to YouTube, type in a keyword search Jimmy Rants, or youtube.com/livinlowcarbman. Finally, the best of the best moments of this here show. We got a podcast for you. It's the Jimmy Rants podcast on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher. And all of these links, you guys, are at jimmyrants.com. We also have a very special page, jimmyrants.com/fasting challenge, which has all these resources all in one place, all about what we've been doing here on these Jimmy Rants with the fasting videos. So guys, until next time, we'll see you then.